I'm still alive! Wow, 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 wow! Yeah. I mean, it pretty much sums it up. I'm alive. I'm existing. It's a Saturday. I didn't do jujitsu today because they told me it was closed, but then they told me it wasn't closed, so I missed it. So that's cool. Yeah. So let's chill. Let's have some fun. Let's play some Risk of Rain. I'm very excited because I love Risk of Rain. It's one of my favorite games. It's definitely in my top 3. And my Risk of Rain streams recently have been getting more traction on YouTube. I mean, I'm still not famous or popular, which is not really what I want, but more than 10 people have seen my Risk of Rain videos, guys. That's a good fucking number. But yeah, so we're just gonna fuck around and play Risk of Rain. As always, I'm just gonna try not to be dead. I hope you guys are all also trying not to be dead. Let's see. We'll do it on Rainstorm because I'd like to suffer. So, how you guys' week been? Mine's been pretty chill. Oops, I clicked that button on accident. Big dumb. Work's been work. It's like hard because I don't actually hate my job, but also like how do you say good things about something that takes effort? I don't know, my brain is just like, nah, I'd rather not say it's good. I mean, I didn't get fired, so like that's a bonus. I mean, that's always a very good time. Really? Recycler? Blah. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of been like a lazy week. In the US, we have the 4th of July coming up on Tuesday. So like a lot of companies are kind of like in sleepy mode, I guess you could say, because everyone's going on vacation. I'm honestly not a fan of the 4th of July. There's like some weirdness with it. I don't know. The US is kind of very unusual because of like our intense, almost toxic patriotism. I don't necessarily agree with that. And the 4th of July is like a big, like, red flag when it comes to that. So it's not my favorite holiday. And then I don't personally like fireworks very much. I know everyone hates me for that one, but you know, dramatic sounds, explosions, that shit can mess a person up, you know? Plus I have dogs. Like, dogs just don't want to hear things explode. Am I currently dreaming and how do I know? You know, that's a hard thing. I feel like I've definitely had that feeling before where I can't tell if everything that's happening is real or dream. Sort of that like confused in-between state of like, is this reality or is this just fantasy? I think that's an interesting concept of the idea that we could all just be like asleep and living in a simulation or like not actually experiencing life. Because to some degree I feel like it has to be that way, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm just a meat puppet. I'm just a meat puppet, just living life. Actually, funny story on that. I recently found this musician that's on YouTube. I had never heard of them before. I'm pretty active in the music community on YouTube as far as listening, not making music. I'm trash. But his name is Chani Jash. So it's a play on Johnny Cash. It's very hard for me to say it. My my lisp comes out and my stutter comes out really bad when I try to say it. So it's difficult. So don't expect me to repeat it. But anyways, so he makes interesting covers. So I don't like cover music. It's just how it's just me. I don't know. I don't really like covers. I think like it's hard for me to disconnect the original sound from the cover. But his covers are very, very interesting because it's almost not even a cover. It's almost like a reimagining of the song, where he takes the music and he might move around the chords. He'll add instruments. He'll change the lyrics completely. He'll change pieces of the lyrics. Like it's very interesting, and the sound is really good too. He does a good job of recreating the sound, but also like adding to it in a way that's not overwhelming. So like if you like music, I'd suggest checking him out. There's also a lot of sort of story built into his music, which I think is interesting too. There's this this idea of like three characters, mind, body, and soul. Mind being mind, or not body, mind, heart, and soul, excuse me. And it's, you know, mind is your brain working, and heart is obviously the emotional side of a person, and then soul is sort of how you present yourself to the world, sort of. Damn it, I don't want that. But it's interesting because I feel like I very much relate to the idea of sort of the internal strife of you arguing with yourself in a way. This like conflict internally about like, you know, do I listen to my head or my heart or what I think people expect me to do? So I think that's cool. V asked, how often do I cook? I mean, I cook probably... It's hard because I've been dragging my feet and I haven't been cooking as much as I used to. I used to cook every other day. Lately I've been cooking maybe twice a week and then leaving it to my husband to cook because I'm a bad wife. No, I just... Life is hard sometimes, and you have to take a break and not do things. Hades, you're the worst. But yeah, I do think it's important to cook food for yourself. It saves you a lot of money in the long run, and it's healthier. That's why I started cooking a lot more often. I cook every day now that I think about it, because I make breakfast every day. I just don't cook dinner every day. I normally make breakfast and lunch every day. And then dinner's the hard one of when I'm like, at the end of the day, I've already worked all day, I'm exhausted, you know, and it can sometimes be hard to do that one. Yeah, exactly. Guys are like, the dick or the brain? Which one's the best? True. But I mean, I guess to some degree, the brain is, you know, part of the dick, so I think they just kind of work in unison. Well, I think cooking lazy food is fine. I think it's just like a matter of, you know, finding something that works for you. Like, oh god, my husband, he has this thing where he only fucking eats chicken. Only chicken. I would die. I don't know. I need variety in my meals. He eats chicken every day for lunch. Just chicken tenders, chicken sandwiches, like chicken nuggets, fucking chicken. So like, if it's something you're enjoying and it's easy to make, then it's like a starting point. You could always make something a little bit more complex another time, but just the fact that you're cooking something at all is like a step in the right direction, is the way that I like to think of it. Hades, you're terrible. Speaking of Hades, how you like that keychain? Yeah? Is good? Hades and me know each other outside in the real world. And so, I got him a keychain. It's just a seagull choking down a breadstick. And it's just so funny. I loved it so much that I was like, somebody needs this. I hope you put it on your keys. It's literally like a keychain that I feel like relates to me. The only thing that I need is like I want the seagull's eyes to be like looking in different directions and be like completely like spaced out because he's like bread, bread. Is that's how I imagine myself. If I were ever an animal, it'd be a seagull choking on a piece of breadstick. He has panicked. It is cute though. When I saw it, I was like, yes, this. Okay, are we ready to fight the boss? I think I picked up all the chests. I don't remember where the teleporter is. Gotta look for the particles. You guys see particle effects? Am I blind? Maybe it's hiding behind something and that's why I don't see it. Was it in the cave? Did I pass it in the cave? I should actually pay attention. Okay, these particles or this? No. Particles! Particles! Found it. Let's see, what else have I done this week? I mean, I've been pretty chill. There was a new update to the Power Wash Simulator, which is definitely like a relaxing game that I enjoy playing by myself. I don't think I can stream it, because it's one of those games where I feel like I go into like a zen mode and I just can't talk at the same time. But they did well, I guess it's a DLC. A SpongeBob DLC that I definitely bought. It was like $7. I should have not bought it, but I was like, I need this, yeah? So like, that's a thing you could get. Yeah, I played it like all day. I say all day, but all day after work yesterday. So that was great. Speaking of work, man, I have such conflicting feelings about work. We were talking about it before, that like, I feel like there's always this debate internally for me between like my brain telling me I'm trash and my like heart being like, no, but people like you, right? And like all of that sort of thing. And just the difficulty that I experience with sort of like not being able to, I feel like indecisive, but it's more like a internal strife. I just don't think highly of myself, so it's like hard. So like every once in a while I have this thing at work that like I'll get, I don't know how to explain it, this like weird feeling of like almost being confident, and then it's sort of like just is gone. It's like I know that I do a good job at work. I know that people trust me and they rely on me and they think that I do a good job and they think I'm smart. But like, it's hard for me to like face that reality. I feel like I'm always doing bad, that I could be doing more, I should be better, I'm not good enough, kind of vibes. And so like, on yesterday, on Friday, I I went to lunch. I was only on lunch for like 30 minutes. I have an hour lunch. And I came back to my computer and I saw that I had like 20 messages from different people. So my first thought was, oh, I've broken something. Because of course, you know, what did I break? They need me. But I had not broken anything, and it was all different people messaging me. And they were like looking for my help with like random stuff. And like I had this momentary thing where I was like, I'm amazing. People rely on me. Look at how important and popular I am. Oh, Hades, that's exciting. Congrats. You did not tell me anything about it. But yeah, I'll have like this moment where I'm like, yeah, I'm so popular, I'm so good at my job, people love me and appreciate me, and they look for me to help them. And then like immediately, like my brain comes in and is like, what the fuck, you idiot! You clown! You are not good, you are trash! And it's like such a weird feeling. Looping 2 rolls, wow. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like if you've ever had issues with confidence, you'll like know exactly what I mean. Like what this feeling's like. But so I was just so conflicted yesterday because like one part of me was like, yeah, I'm so fucking badass. And the other part was like, nah, you dumb bitch. So, yeah, that was a fun time. Moving to storage? They're gonna put you in a storage closet? I mean, I guess to each their own. Some people are into that shit. Come on, I need more money, so I need more monsters to come out. Monsters, please. Come die by my hands. Okay. Come on, Chance Shrine. That's fine, I guess. Okay, I need more money again. I feel like a little kid at the arcade being like, I couldn't get the stuffed animal from the claw machine. More money, mother, please. Okay. Let's go to the other side. Oh, Hades, that's exciting. Oh, rips. I'm sorry. I used to have that issue too. I recently, well, I guess last year I got better internet and it was like mind-blowing how like fast everything was. You can always watch the VODs later too. I try to reduce the quality of my videos or my streams a little bit so that like everyone can watch them, but it can be hard. I'm sorry it's lagging so much for you though. I mean, I could do that. V, do you think banning you would like resolve all my problems? New PC Sweden party! Yes, yes, yes! I mean, I feel that. I definitely have had times where I wanted to ban Hades or Dean. Actually, I want to ban a lot of people now that I think about it. Hades, you troublemaker. That's not that much better. Do I want that? Do I not want that? I like the rocket launcher the best. Yeah, banning somebody in real life is definitely, that's what we want. That's what we need. We don't need VR. We need IRL banning. Who would I ban first? If I could ban people in real life. Probably my sister. That probably makes me sound like a terrible person, but it's fine. Yeah, Hades over here using the power. Okay, let's go collect all the treasure chests. I think I have enough money. Timing out people would be nice. It'd be like just pushing the mute button on them. I would definitely appreciate that. There are lots of people that I'd like to just mute. Like, I've had bosses before. So I'm a kind of person who works okay under pressure. But I don't work well when somebody's yelling at me. Like, you raise your voice at me and I'm done. Like, I don't know, I just can't handle it. If you treat me with respect and you're kind to me, then I'll work really hard. But so I've had those bosses before that, like, scream at you. And those have definitely been moments where I've wanted to just mute a bitch, you know? Just done. Yeah, exactly, like he opens his mouth and no sound comes out. Yeah, I feel that. Kyrie probably has experienced the worst of it. I passed by something that had a money thing. Was it an invisible chest? I know I passed by. I was not looking. That's what happens when you don't pay attention completely. Oh boy, subscribe for 19 months. Killing it. I know I passed something that said the cost of it when I ran past it, but I fucking wasn't looking and I can't find it now. I think it was a hidden chest, but I wasn't paying attention. A cloaked chest, that's what they're called. Oh! Oh! Look, there it is! I'm playing on, Rainstorm. I'm still too much of a little wimpy-ass bitch to play on Monsoon, but I have upped from Drizzle to Rainstorm, so proud of me. But I may die, so there's that at least. I was telling people earlier, I'm excited because Risk of Rain seems to be popping off on YouTube, so my videos are getting a lot more views, which is exciting. I really love Risk of Rain, so like the idea of other people being able to experience it is really nice for me. I know yeah, I'll be posting this on YouTube later. Oh my god, I can't think of names right now. Connor and Iron Mouse did a video where they tried to play Risk of Rain. And like, you know, it's pretty good. We need to do it again soon, Matt, because I want to try to get some new skins. Because I haven't gotten all the skins yet from finishing the game in Monsoon. Yeah, I need to, you know, I really want to actually create a VTuber model, probably more of a PNG tuber model myself, but like, it's been so long since I've made art, I feel like, and I still have a difficult time like forcing myself to do it. So I want to actually make some emotes and a PNG tuber, but I'm dragging my fucking fat ass feet. One day. I still have the like basic VTuber model, but it's such a pain to set up that like meh. I mean, if you've ever seen like a fucked up Picasso painting, yeah, I do look kind of like that. So it's fine. Speaking of painting, do you guys have a favorite artist? I think there's like for me, I have like a favorite current artist, and then I have like a favorite old school artist. Like old school artist, there's Alphonse Muha. Oh, man is a genius. His work is so beautiful. He used to do like advertisements, a lot of advertisements for like beer and like cologne and shit. But like, oh, it was always so pretty, and like the way his lines were, bitch, delicious. Yeah, sure, take my equipment. Some random Redditor. Bisky's your favorite artist? I think some random Redditor is like a completely valid response. Dean has this specific artist that he really likes online, but he also is like a very big fan of like an art trend that's been going on. How do I explain this? It's just an art trend where you draw like this female character with like a cod piece. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, man. I'm sorry. Like, that's just like what it is. So yeah. I don't know. There's a person that I really love their art. I've been following them for a very long time. And they actually started doing tattoo work as well, and I really want a tattoo from them. I think their username is Fukari, F-U-K-A-R-I. They go by Fuki Inc, maybe? It's been a while, but I really love their style. And like I said, I've been following it for a long time. It's much more anime-esque, but like with a little like a difference in shape, I guess you could say. I'm very bad at describing things. Yay! Yeah, I don't know. I just really like it, so. Let's see. Speaking of art trends, another art thing that I really love is animated videos, animated memes on YouTube. Oh, shit's dope. I love it. I love how people take characters and like in a way make them their own or make their own versions of them. So like there's a lot of animated memes with like off characters. Off is the name of the game for anyone who doesn't know. Animated memes of Stanley Parable, the narrator and Stanley, both like they're so good. And they're so interesting. It's a fun way to like get introduced to new music too, because a lot of the music is just like very different from what's currently popular, I guess. Check Discord. Okay, let me look at Discord. Porn? Oh, that one is cool. I love the colors. What is their signature? Snail ski? That's cute. I love that. My husband also sent me some videos, but it wasn't what the fuck? Is a Tom Scott video that says 6 months from now this channel stops. Excuse me? Tom Scott, can you not do this to me? I'm not gonna look at it right now. I don't need depression in my life today. That'll be a later thing. Well, actually, I'm already depressed. Yesterday, oh my god. Okay, guys, let me tell you a story about college. I went to college. I actually went to 3 different colleges. Because I ended up moving a couple times. And I just switched schools. I did 2 different degrees, so it's like, you know, lots of bullshit. College is expensive. It's very expensive. And it's sort of an unrealistic ideal that people can afford to pay it while going to school. The concept of working a summer and being able to pay for college is something of the distant past that is no longer feasible. The idea of working while going to college and being able to make enough money to pay for your living expenses and college is completely outside of the realm of what's possible. This doesn't just go for the US, this does go for other countries too. There are other countries that also have high college prices, but specifically I'm talking about the US for right now, just because it's the one that I know the most about. The problem is that when the value of money changes, everything around it and everything associated with it should change with it. You know, when the cost of living goes up, the cost of the amount that you get paid should go up too. I've talked about this before, but it used to be that like you work at a job for 10 years and you end up getting 10 promotions through your time there, or 10 raises at least, if not promotions. The company cares about you, or cared about you at that point in time, and would put in effort for your advancement, to keep you around and to, you know, in essence, show their appreciation of your work. Not every company did that. That's kind of a blanket statement, but generally speaking, companies more were geared towards that kind of mindset of like caring for their employees more as a family unit sort of vibe, and wanting them to succeed, and then assisting them through succeeding. Whether it be, again, with increased pay based on the increase in, you know, housing expenses and things like that, or, you know, an actual promotion. That just doesn't happen anymore. I feel like it's this like unspoken word in the US that like everyone has this assumption that your goals are to get promoted, and that's not feasible. First of all, companies a lot of the time hire externally because they can pay less for an external hire in a lot of situations. They can basically lowball people and get people to come in. When they hire internally, they have this issue of, okay, well, this person's already making close to that amount. We're gonna have to like increase their pay, and it's gonna be too expensive. And so like they end up instead hiring externally. So that reduces the amount that internal people can actually progress within the company of advancement. On top of that, the idea of raises in general has sort of changed. It used to be that there was an understanding that there was a yearly raise, and then on top of it, people received bonuses. I have never, in any of the companies I've worked at, received a bonus. Every time it comes around the end of the year of which it's bonus time, there's always the same statement. Oh, we didn't make enough money this year to offer bonuses because we didn't profit enough. And that's just not true. It's just a lie that they tell you. Regardless of how the economy's doing, it's something that I've never had the joys of experiencing a bonus. Now, I'm not saying all companies don't give bonuses, but a lot of times, even when they do give bonuses, it's like, okay, here's 20 bucks. Congratulations on your bonus. And it's like, okay, I can buy a sandwich with this because of how expensive everything is. You know? And then we look at raises. And again, that's another thing. Okay, so a lot of companies do this thing. They don't talk about it. It's like the unspoken word that they essentially have this rule. Oh fuck, hello sir. I didn't see that there was another one. Sorry. You scared the shit out of me. They essentially do this thing where there is an unspoken rule that says at the end of the year they will, like, our staff will not only get bonuses or raises, but they'll also get their what the fuck's it called? Like a score? Like they'll talk to your manager and basically say how you're doing and all that jazz. I can't remember what it's called. I feel like it starts with an R, but I can't think of the word. And so they score you, and it's this unspoken word that they are not allowed to performance review. Thank you. It's a review. This is the word that I was thinking of. They are not allowed to score you like 5 stars. Okay, let's say it's 4 sections and each of them are up to 5 points. They specifically score you at 4, regardless of how good you're doing, because if they score you at 5, then the expectation is that you'll expect you deserve a raise because they said you're doing a good job. So instead, they make a point of saying that you need improvement in order to force this idea that you're not doing good enough, and they can get away with not paying you for a raise, not giving you that raise. It's something that like I've literally experienced at every job I've worked. I hate to say that it's like a common thing, but it's a common fucking thing. And like you said, Matt, like they promise a raise, and then they'll come to you and they'll be like, here's 0.001 cents per paycheck. And so at the end of the year, if you look at how much that like balances out to, okay, well I just got like a $4 yearly raise. $4, like, and I wish I was exaggerating at it sometimes like being $4, but I'm not. I remember getting a raise that was $2 a year. And like my boss was like, oh, I worked really hard to get you this raise. And I was like, are you joking? Even if it's $100, it doesn't feel fair. Like that doesn't feel like a reasonable raise, you know? It feels like a gimmick in a way that they're like, oh, well, it's like hush money almost. It's like, I bought you lunch that one time, so you're not allowed to talk back to me. Like, it just feels wrong. So anyways, this all comes around because my point is, see, that's not too bad. I'll be honest, Matt. That's a pretty okay raise, but at the same time, like that's still not what people consider like a reasonable raise, especially depending on if you got a title change. If you got a title change, the expectation is it should be like $10,000 or more, depending on the title jump. You know, like yearly. So like it depends, because if you stay the same title, then that's a really reasonable raise. But like, you know, it depends on the like called the yeah, that's kind of shit then. It depends on the company and the sort of work that you're doing. Yeah, they don't want to give you the title. That's the fucking bullshit part, because they know if they give you a title, there's the expectation that you should be getting an increase in money more so than what they're offering you. Which is bullshit. But the thing is like all companies do that. And so the world is not set up currently in a way for a lot of advancement for people. The only way for you to get title changes or like reasonable raises that actually affect your life, I guess is the best way I want to say it, is to switch companies. And then it puts people into the mindset of, well, you don't support your company, you're not loyal. That word, loyal, they use it constantly. And it's disgusting. But this all comes back around to student loans, because you're expected to get a college degree, otherwise you can't, in the US, you're expected to get a college degree, otherwise you can't get a job. People look down on you and treat you poorly for not, like, getting a job, or not having that degree, unless you have prior work experience that fits that degree. That's like a replacement for that degree. So if it's a 4-year degree, if you have 4 years of prior working experience, then they could overlook it. But it's leading up to those 4 years of having to get the work experience that's very difficult for some people. They're not able to get a job offer because of the fact that they don't have the schooling, they don't have the experience. They're willing to work like really shitty minimum wage jobs in order to try to get in the door. And like, even once you get a degree, even when you've had that 4 years of schooling experience, a lot of companies will be like, oh, but it's not real on-the-job experience, so we're going to pay you next to nothing. And so it's a lose-lose. You're stuck in this situation where you can't win either way. And it sucks. It's disappointing, it hurts. It feels bad. But like, I think the hardest part is when you do go to college, the benefits that you get from college don't outweigh the costs any longer. There's this this mindset that they should and that they will, but realistically speaking, they just don't. The debt that you are and basically inevitably end up with, it completely overshadows the slight possibility that you'll get paid more than somebody who does not have a degree. The only difference is you may have a little bit more luck getting in the door because of the college degree. So like, yeah, mentioning the budget is always something that pisses me off when companies are like, oh, we can't afford it because the budget. It's like, yeah, fucking bullshit. But, you know, I don't know. I feel like the thing is like, it used to be that a lot of companies were very focused on putting money back into the business to help it grow. and that's not as much of a thing as it was previously. Now it's all about profits and making money versus growing businesses in a reasonable, feasible way, in a way that benefits both you and your staff. It's just solely focused on profits for the people at the top. But anyways, I want to get back to the college discussion. I just keep going on a rant. I'm sorry. But my point being is the debt that you end up saddled with is something that you end up with for upwards of 20 years. So just think of that. 20 years of paying $800 a month if you're lucky. That's a shit ton of money. Think about what you could do with all that money. Think about how much better your life could be with all that money. Hell, even just $800 a month alone, without thinking about the fact that it'll be 20 years before you pay it off. Just thinking at $800 a month is a huge amount of money. People could live off of that. People do live off of that. So you're essentially taking somebody's whole housing and food expense and you're putting it towards student loans. And then on top of it, because of the interest rate of student loans, it soars even beyond what you borrowed. So far beyond what you borrowed. You borrowed $20,000 because you just can't make it without it. You need that money. It's just, you tried really hard, you worked 4 jobs, like you've done everything you can, and you have no choice but to borrow $20,000. That $20,000 is going to become $80,000 real fucking quick. And it sucks. It's not fair. We're basically stifling the younger generation and forcing them to be unable to basically live on their own. People are talking shit about how they're like, oh, millennials, Gen Z, Gen X, Gen Y, they're all still living off of their parents' paycheck to paycheck. Wonder fucking why. Because we can't get raises. We can't get good paying jobs without having a huge amount of debt over our head. We can't buy houses. We have to rent, of where the rent is almost $1,000 a month for like a single room. That's insane. It makes me want to cry. Yeah, previous generations have definitely fucked up. But I feel like that's the thing that people say all the time. It's always the generation before us or the generation after us. They've fucked everything up. Look at us blaming the TikTok generation for our problems. They're just kids trying to have fun. Like, why are we being such dicks? Why do we hate TikTok? I actually like TikTok, so like, I don't know, fuck everyone. I don't give a shit. But like, it's hard because it feels difficult because the older generation doesn't necessarily keep up with things. They get stuck in the past a lot of the time. I think that's my main disagreement with a lot of the older generation, is that the inability to move forward with life. That includes the understanding of, you know, current topics. That includes the understanding of how money currently works, that things aren't the same as when you were young. Okay, yes, you walked 1.5 miles up a hill to school every day, but that doesn't change the fact that I can't get money to feed my children. like that's difficult. But the lack of knowledge that the older generation has is a problem. They're focusing on everything from the past, from what they experience, from what they remember, from what they know, and they're not looking at the current. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, there's no proof that TikTok is like spying on us, and even if it is, what the fuck's the difference? Do you know how many programs that we use every day that spy on us? That want our data, that like look into us? How much do I spend on food per month? I'm doing math in my head right now, give me a second. 1,200 maybe? Because it's like 300 a month. And that's when you're purchasing fresh food. That's another problem that I have a huge fight with the US regarding. Because of the fact that like food that's healthy and like safe for you the cost is insane. That's for 2 people also. So if you divide it by 2, that's what I alone would be. The cost for healthy food is insane. And so everyone's like, oh, Americans are so fat and lazy. And it's like, okay, well, what options do we have for healthy food? Do we have the money to pay twice as much as everyone else? Not really. If I think about when I was in college and how much money I used to spend, it was probably closer to maybe 800 a month. Maybe a little bit less. But I also like eat a lot of like really shit unhealthy cheap food and I got sick a lot, so I don't know that was necessarily the best choice that I made. Yeah, exactly. That's like almost like, wouldn't you be better off growing your own food? You would think, but here's the problem with that. Let me just drop problems left and right. Water costs. Water cost is insane. To be able to grow your own food, the cost of actually watering it and maintaining it is, again, not really reasonable. No, you'd think water was free. No, water bills are expensive here. Yeah. I can't give you an amount because Dean pays it, so I don't have to get depressed. But just know that water is expensive. Oh fuck, I gave him the money gun. He's gonna use all my money. Does it come from my money loop? I don't know, man. Did I just fuck myself? Oof, girl, we gotta find out. Yeah, no, the US is really dumb. The more that I talk to you guys, the more I feel sad inside. But anyways, the original thing that I wanted to complain about is, student debt relief. I'll just piss in the garden. Make my plants grow. Move to the Netherlands. I mean, I have really honestly thought strong and hard about moving outside of the US, but Dean is like 100% against it. So. Yeah, Coke is basically cheaper than water. Yeah, that sounds correct. Well, like I said, the thing is in the US, anything unhealthy is much cheaper than anything healthy. If you think about it, water is considered a healthy thing. So of course it's cheaper than Coke because, you know... Oh fuck, I made a whoopsies. Oh, I made it. Surprised I'm not dead. Look at that. Yeah, exactly. Everything bad basically equals cheap. It's stupid. It's honestly really stupid. I really hate it. Yeah. But anyways, the college debt relief failed in the Supreme Court. They shot it down as being unconstitutional, which is insane to me. And I feel really mad because the argument is always, oh, like the older generation being like, well, I was in school and I had to pay off my student loans. And it's like, yeah, your student loans were $2,000. Mine are like the cost of a house. Like, there's a big difference here, sir. And then you also like made more money. One day I'll go to Europe and then I'll just feel sad. I mean, me and Dean have talked about doing a trip at some point soonish, so we just don't know where. I think we'll probably go to Japan though, maybe next year. We just paid a fortune for my hearing aids, so like I don't know if we'll be able to do it this year. I don't even know if I'll be able to visit my mom for Christmas. I really want to, but I don't know if I can. Yeah, fundraiser for that trip. You can donate down below. Yeah, right. Student loan debt really do be giving people mansions left and right. And then like, okay, this is another thing. So, I had a student loan with a provider called Great Lakes Borrower. Great Lakes decided that they weren't making enough profit and that they didn't want to do student loans anymore. So they sold my student loans to a different provider. When they did the transfer over, they fucked up my student loans. The amount's wrong. The history is not there to show that I've been paying on them. Like, they just don't have any of the historical data about my loan. They just like threw a number in their system and was like, that's your loan, that's how much you should be paying us. And so like my rates and everything are incorrect. And I've been trying to get a hold of them and they're just like not responding to any of my contacts. So it's very hard to like resolve the issue. But even besides that, like nobody gives a shit because it's considered a private lender, not a governmental one. But like when I went to school and when I signed up for the student loans, no one fucking told me there was a difference. Yeah, they're basically ripping me off. And like that's the thing is it's basically a giant fucking scam. And it's legal, all of it's legal. And like there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to suck it up and throw away my money. And it hurts and it feels bad. And not only that, but like we have credit scores that we have to like keep an eye on. They get better as you pay debts, but they'll drop down when you pay off something because you have one less account. It's dumb, okay? I disagree with how it functions, but you know, I'm not a governmental smartass bitch. Do I want this? What red item do I have? I have the brain. I don't know. But, what was I complaining about? Oh, credit scores, yes. So the problem is when they sold my, yeah, your credit goes up when you get into debt. Yes, correct. It's considered that they want to see that you can utilize your credit and properly pay it off, but they also want to see you have debt, which is very, very stupid. And a lot of things are reliant on your credit score, and your credit score dropping can really like fuck you up, like seriously. Like it takes you out of the market to be able to get any kind of loan, any kind of house. Like you in an urgent situation where you need surgery and you need to get a loan, you're fucked. Because your credit's not good enough. But like, it's just kind of fucked up. So the problem is that, like, it would make more sense if you get marked down for not paying your debts, not paying off your bills. So when my student loan got sold to a new provider, they marked it as me closing the account, me paying it off. And then they marked it as me opening a new account. And both of those things made my credit score drop. And so my credit score dropped when I didn't do anything. It had nothing to do with me. It wasn't my choice. I didn't move it over. I didn't sell it. I had no control over the situation. I had no say in it. But my credit score gets damaged. That's a crock of shit if you ask me. That's a big old crock of shit. Another issue I had with credit scores is that, like, as a child, you basically do not have a credit score. The expectation is that you'll get a credit card at, like, teenage years, and you'll suddenly have a credit score. And it builds up from that point. But, like, you need a credit score to, like, rent an apartment and, like, get a loan. So that's another sort of fuck you thing with student loans. is so you get there and you don't have a credit score. I think you can get one at like 16 here. I don't remember for sure, but basically you can't build, you have to build your credit somehow in order for you to be able to have a credit score. It's not like you start with like an 800 credit score and it goes from there. Like you have to start it. Like you basically like turn it on. And like it just fucks you because like I didn't know anything. Yeah, debit cards are more common. I only had a debit card all through my like teenage years. All of my money from my jobs went straight onto my bank account, and I only used my debit card because I only used the money that I owned, that I had available. Why would I get a credit card if I'm just going to use the money that I have? That doesn't make sense. I'm just gonna get a credit card and then not use it, but then that doesn't work either because that doesn't build your credit. Just having a credit card doesn't build your credit. You have to use it. And then you have to balance and maintain it. So you have to like pay attention to, okay, I used it on this, I need to go home and pay it immediately, kind of thing. But then it's also not great to pay it immediately. You have to sort of let it sit for a bit. There's a whole bunch of shit around it. I know it's very complex. But the frustrating thing is, as a teenager, as a child, I didn't know anything about credit scores. I was not really taught about them in school. I did not know that you needed them. Yeah, I still don't use a credit card. Like, Dean and me have one, and we use it for like emergencies or like big bills. But we have the money to pay it off. We just pay the big bills with them so that we get like cash back from the credit card company, and then we pay it later. But like, I don't like the idea of credit cards. I just don't like it. It's like setting you up for failure because you're obviously going to accidentally spend too much money. Like that's what I feel like their whole gimmick is. They're expecting you to fail and forget about it and fuck up. And then they're gonna rob your ass blind. And so, but anyways. So you're expected to have a credit score around when you go to college. And if you don't have a credit score and it's not good, then you get bad rates when you get your student loans. So okay, not only are you punishing children for not having a credit score when they shouldn't have needed one and they can't really build one up, but you're gonna like cost them more money because of that? That's crazy talk. It's fucking crazy, okay? It's absurd. I don't know. The whole concept behind all of it is mind-numbingly insane to me. It does not make sense. It seems like it hurts more than it benefits people. I feel like it's all set up in a way to make you fail. And it feels really sad. Yeah, it only benefits the rich, basically, you're correct. Another cloak chest, yeah, bitches! Look at me, finding all the cloaked chests. Yeah, everything exists only to benefit the rich and fuck the poor. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty accurate. It just feels bad. So like, when I heard that the student loan debt thing didn't pass, I felt really disappointed. Because like, the thing is it wouldn't even like remove my debt. All of it. I have two types of student loans. I have a federal and I have a private. The private loan would be unaffected, and that's the one that was just sold to another company and kind of like fucks me over. The federal one has also been sold, but it didn't fuck me over as much. It was sold to another federal lender, because it used to be Sallie Mae, and then it was Navient. And so like, I don't know, I've been through the ringer when it comes to student loan debt, and like I have a lot. And like, the thing is the thing that Biden spoke about, it wouldn't have even cleared my debt completely from my federal provider, because it was only up to like $10,000, which is like a drop in the bucket. For some people, that's just the amount of money that their interest is. So I don't know. Yeah, healthcare? Oof, girl, don't get me started. Like I just said, we just ended up paying a fortune for my hearing aid. Shit was expensive as fuck. So expensive. And it's like, you need it, you have to get it, it's important, but like, if you don't get it, you're fucked. but like also your provider's shitty. I don't know. It's all kind of shit. It's like even the idea of deductibles is crazy. To me, it's like, okay, well you have to pay $10,000 before we pay anything. But then with people like my husband who don't get sick and like don't really have medical problems, then he never meets his deductible. So he basically, why does he have to have insurance? He's not paying anything for him. It just doesn't make sense. I wish my dentist was free. Like, fucking, I have to pay a fortune for my dentist too. Eyeglasses, dentistry, like I said, my hearing aid, all that shit is like another expense, and it's crazy expensive is the thing too. Like the pricing is like very much blown up from how it should actually be. Like the thing is they're thinking strictly on profits. So if you look at like let's take rubber gloves, just as an example. How much does a doctor's office pay for rubber gloves? Okay, now let's assume that in order for somebody to receive medical care, they had to get rubber gloves from their doctor. They would pay 3 times as much in most cases from what the doctor paid, so that the doctor has profit on it. So like those margins like are crazy. You can have smaller margins and be fine. And like the thing is these are people's lives. Is profits really that important? I think that's where I have a really difficult time with it, because like I'm kind of a sucker who cares about people. The idea that like you will let somebody who has diabetes die because they can't afford an insulin makes me weep. Makes me feel so sad. People deserve to be able to live regardless about how much money they make. Yes, we want people to make more money, but like the idea that they don't deserve life if they're not making a certain amount is just trash. Finland has a lot of unemployed alcoholics. I mean, the thing is like, even if you look at the US, look at our homeless population. Look at how many people are dying on the street and freezing to death. It's just sad. There's a big issue with homeless population that a lot of the time they lose limbs because of frostbite. Why is that even a thing that should be happening? Like, can you imagine? And you're correct, a lot of them are veterans. But if we look at like veteran benefits, they're garbage. My dad has TRICARE, which is a veteran benefit. And like, he used to have tons of problems because they had a lot of requirements for their treatments. So like a lot of criteria that need to be met in order for them to like agree to give you certain medications, to treat you certain ways, and to discuss certain things. And then on top of it, because they're constantly rotating doctors, your doctor's never the same. So each time you go to the doctor, it's like starting over. You have to explain again to the person what's going on. Then they're gonna be like, oh, well, have you tried this, this, and this? And you're like, yes, I've tried those things. This is the 30 billionth time that somebody has asked me if I've tried those things. And it's frustrating. It's annoying. And then on top of it, a lot of the time they only allow you to see on-base doctors. So if you're not near a base, you're fucked. And if you are near a base, like, it's a pain in the ass to get in the base sometimes. I don't know. I have a lot of things that make me sad about it. It's like, we used to have to drive, I think it was 2 hours to the base just for medical care. Like, you're 2 hours away. Why do I gotta drive so far? Like, why can't I see a doctor nearby and you guys like reimburse them? Why is that not a thing? Why can't I see a doctor of my choice? And then like the thing is like I said, the way that they treat people is kind of shit, and then even their coverage is shit because they're like, yeah, we're gonna cover your things because you're a veteran and we care about you, but like they don't cover everything. You have to use like specific pharmacies to pick up your medications, and the pharmacies a lot of the time are just out of medications. Like they just don't have them. So it's like sucks. But like that's a medication that you need to stay alive. So like, yeah, there's a lot of veterans on the street, you know? There's a lot of veterans who don't get the medical care they need. And do I think that they're the bad guys? Because that's a thing that people have said too, where they're like, oh, but veterans don't want to work. Oh, but veterans have PTSD, so that's why they can't do anything. Well, fuck, man. If you offered them proper, like, medical health care, proper psychiatric care, then they would be fine. I have severe PTSD. Like, lots of people have severe PTSD. If you get the proper treatment and you're treated with care and like a person, then you can work through it. And it's not easy for everyone, and it's not something that'll take a day. Sometimes it takes years. But like, you just gotta put in the effort. And if you have a bunch of doctors that are constantly changing, it's not stable enough for you to be able to feel comfortable discussing those things. It's just not, you're setting them up for failure. So what do you expect? I don't know. It makes me mad. It makes me so mad. I hate seeing people hurt, and I feel like the way that the world is currently set up is in a way that only hurts people. So my husband came in, he gave me a heart. I love him. He's the best. Oh, not anymore. You can probably tell with my voice that I feel sad right now. I'm like a big sucker, so like it makes sense to me to become upset about these things. It doesn't make sense to me that people can like look at these things and not be upset. I don't know how people think that these things are okay. How people can look at how veterans are being treated, how students are being treated, how, you know, people. Look at fucking, there was a bunch of nursing homes that were just closed. I think it was 4 nursing homes were just closed because they found out that the owners were like hoarding all of the money and not actually like treating the old people and not caring for them and not feeding them properly, and so people were just like starving to death and dying because they didn't have the proper medications. How is that shit possible? Nuke USA, fresh start. I mean, the thing is if it was a fresh start, if it was that simple, I would be backing it. But like, the problem isn't necessarily the US in general. I think it's the rules. This rules and regulations and our inability to support change. It's like when I was talking about earlier that I mentioned that the older generation gets very stuck in the past. They get very stuck in their own mindset and their own beliefs and opinions, and it's not accurate to how the world currently functions. The whole thing with the TikTok conversation again, like all those people in that room talking about TikTok and the man's like asking about like Wi-Fi and how it fucking works, that's absurd. How is that a person in power that's making decisions with the expectation that they're making decisions that I would want? I think that's the thing that frustrates me the most, is they're like, oh, we're making the decisions for the people. None of the fucking people want that decision, and the ones that do are insane. Because like it's I don't know. You see the support is literally like crazy people who like don't understand because they're not taught. I don't know. Like I have a problem where I hate like this like whole Southern gun-toting mindset, but I also don't blame the people for that because I feel like they were raised on that. They were taught those things. Their schooling was like religion and guns. So like, how can I be mad at them for like being stupid? The more frustrating part is our inability to allow people to make their own decisions and opinions. Our inability to support difference and change. You know, like our inability to allow thoughts. I spent the majority of my childhood being told how it is. How things are, how it's gonna be, what I need to do, and I wasn't allowed to make my own decisions. I wasn't allowed to choose for myself. I wasn't allowed to ask questions. You know, I was stuck in this realm of thinking that that was how the world is. That was everything. There's nothing more. There's nothing less. I'm not allowed to make choices. I'm not allowed to ask questions. And the first thing I did when I moved out was ask fucking questions and research everything. We had talked about it, I think, in last time I streamed, that the reason that I am who I am today is because of the internet. Because I had the ability to question and look up information and learn from someone other than the people above me bossing me around. You know, like, it wasn't just what I was being taught specifically in school. I was able to look up things that I was interested in, that I wanted to learn about, that I wanted to know more about, that I wasn't being taught about, that I was being told is something I wasn't allowed to learn. The difference between good and bad is something that I feel like is partially taught to you by the people around you, but is also something you need to make that decision for yourself, like, based on your experiences. Potato. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think people are inherently bad. I think they're just gullible. I think there's a lot of people who are brainwashed and make decisions only based on the people around them. They don't think for themselves. It's just what they've been told, what they've been taught. And that makes me sad. I love learning. I love challenging ideas that I had in the past, or even currently. I love listening to people talk about how they don't agree with me. I like listening to people talk about agreeing with me. I like to see all sides. When I am having an argument with somebody, when I am helping a friend with a problem, I always try to look at all sides of it, because you don't know why they're thinking what they're thinking, you don't know how they're feeling, you don't know. So you just gotta try to see it from their perspective, from their mindset, from their eyes. Like, why do they think that? Why are they doing that? And like, if you do that, you're likely to learn something about that person. And you're likely to be able to understand them better, understand yourself better, and be able to have a more valid, like, reasonable conversation with them that's not just screaming and yelling. But people are also afraid of change. They're afraid of things that they don't know about. They're afraid of differences in the world. So it's not easy. But I just wish that the world was a little bit more open to learning about things that are different. It's like the debate against the debate against like being gay used to be like, oh, it's the devil's work. And then for a little while it was like, it's yucky. You know? And it's like the debates and the arguments just sort of died out because people like sort of thought about the fact that like, oh, you know, maybe we're stupid. Why didn't he just revive? Isn't this the third round? Isn't this when he should take my items? Did I already get all my items back? Was that really fast? I feel like I missed something. Bro, what happened? You okay? But yeah, I don't know. I basically my point is I wish that we cared about people more and cared less about profits. I wish that we worked harder to help people and worked less to make ourselves better than them. I don't know. We talked about it earlier. I don't really have confidence in myself as a person, but I have confidence in everyone around me, the people in my life and my family, and I trust them to be the best that they can be, to work hard and do things, and I think that's all you can do is trust other people, you know? You can't do everything yourself. You can't expect yourself to carry the world on your back. You have to work with other people for that. And I think that's why I'm so frustrated that, like, there's this stuck generation that are so focused on profits and benefits to themselves and don't look at all at the world around them and how they're making it crumble. They're just destroying it. It just feels bad. I agree, V. It's like the idea that, like, I don't know, people think that if the higher up make money, it'll trickle down, but that's not how it works. If you give lower income people money, they will spend it. Because they do want to spend money. Everyone wants to fucking spend money. Yes, I want to go out and buy something nice. But like, them spending money helps the businesses that they're spending money at. It helps the employees of those businesses. It helps the, you know, the whole chain. Look at with COVID. The US decided to give people like $1,000 for each person. And suddenly like people were spending money and things were like looking good and we were keeping the economy alive for a little bit longer. But like then we're back to the idea of, oh, corporations need more money. Like, oh, we need to we need to like focus on money and profits, you know? And then the housing market started to crash and then all these things started to go bad and like I don't know, man. The world's an interesting place. I like looking at how people think. I like looking at how people come to the reasoning that they've chosen. I like watching the decisions happen. I don't like hurtful decisions where they feel like they're only benefiting a certain group of people. And that's why I have a really hard time with just like being okay with like the student loan changes or the idea that we're just like letting people like get fucked. Um, even I watch Philip DeFranco every day. He's the best. But I was watching one of his episodes recently, and he was talking about how schools or colleges are trying to, a lot of states are trying to do away with colleges' rules about having like a certain number of like Hispanic or Black um, applicants. And like I have a hard time because that law was put into place originally in order to give a chance to non-white people. Schools like Harvard were like only allowing rich white motherfuckers in who would donate money to their colleges. And so it was a way to force them to allow non-white men into their schools. And I understand that. In my brain, it's setting them up for failure though. I've lived in a lot of places. I've moved around a lot throughout my life. I've lived in a variety of like lower income to higher income places. I know a ton of people. Also, just real quick, I love this drawing of the Grove Tender. It's so fucking cute. I want that as a tattoo. But anyways, I understand that we did it to help people. But the thing is school is different everywhere. You learn different things depending on what state you are in, and you learn different things depending on what income bracket you're in and what type of school you're in. It's shitty, it's wrong, but it's what happens. Um, when I was in schools that were more lower income, um, a lot of the time teachers would just pass you because they didn't want to deal with you or look at you next year. They didn't want to fail you, so you'd have to come back to their class, regardless of if you did any work or anything. And like, as a student, that's great because it means less work that I have to do. Hydration, kiddos. In the long run, it's a major negative. You spend your life skating along because the schools don't want to deal with you. And then you get to the point where you want to turn your life around and you want to actually go for like a good school. You've decided you want to be a lawyer or something, so you decide to go to Harvard. You get in because you have a Hispanic or Black background. But the problem is like your knowledge level is not up to par for the opening of that school, like the starting classes. And so you're being set up for failure. You're being accepted not based on your knowledge, but based on the color of your skin. And I think it's shitty. What I think is that there should be a more universal like idea. Time out somebody else. Hades, are you still on? You want to time out somebody for me? I did it. They've been timed out. 600 seconds. Wow. Anyways, we're almost done anyways, so. But what I think is there should be a more universal, as far as like the US, way that we teach students. Universal requirements for at this grade you should be at this point. You know, the expectations should be more fair. The chat's great now. No. And in that way, it'll set them up for being able to actually advance properly. But at the same time, that's difficult. You look at different states and they want to teach different things. Look at a lot of the southern states are like, nah, there's a gay person in that story. We can't talk about it. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, is it your choice? Like, is it your decision to be able to, like, force people's opinions and say that they can't research this, they can't read these books because you think it's bad? It's going to turn them kids gay. It's going to turn them frogs gay. Like, what the fuck? Like, why are you like that? Like, why is that a thing? So, I don't know. It's not as easy as said as it's done, you know? But I wish that things were easier because I've told this story before in the past, I believe. Don't laugh at me, guys. I don't know multiplication off the top of my head. I hate math. And I hate math because I don't know multiplication. I used to be semi-okay with math. I have dyslexia and like I have issues with numbers and certain letters, and so I have a difficult time to begin with, but I moved from one school that had not learned multiplication yet to a school that had already learned it, and I got no help, and I got no sort of like anything to help teach me. They were just like, figure it out on your own or you fail. And I had my regular schoolwork to work on. So how am I supposed to also teach myself multiplication tables at the same fucking time? That's a lot. You know, I was a little kid. And I did try really hard. But I had so much other stuff on my plate. You know? And I wasn't able to do it. And I was able to skate by. And avoid dealing with it. Avoid that focus of like, how do you do multiplication? And it didn't like really affect me until I got into high school, and then it started to be a real problem. I started failing math classes because I couldn't keep up, because I didn't know how to do things that they were like already been doing for years. And like that's the sort of shit that happens is the problem, because there's such a discrepancy between one school and another. And it's harmful. It's long-term effects. Look at me, I still can't do math. But yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. It's something that we could do better. But we don't. We don't. We just watch as people suffer, and we put the money in our pockets and we walk away. Because that's easy. Anyways, now that I've made everyone depressed, we're gonna call it. I'm done for the day. We've been streaming for an hour and 25 minutes. I'm gonna try to babble for like a little bit longer so I can get it right at an hour and a half, because I like to see them even numbers. But yeah. It's been a really nice stream. We've been having a good time. I think everyone's had fun. If you haven't had fun, I'm so sorry. I am kind of shit. So, oh, it deleted your prior messages. I didn't even see that. Oof. Man, V really fucked you. It deleted like your whole chat history. I'm so sorry. Maybe I should remove that as an option. But anyways, I hope you guys had fun talking with me. I know it's like, I don't have a huge viewpoint on outside of the US, and how people handle things and how their countries are. But I feel like I'd like to learn more. I'd like to like learn better options that we could be using. But I also think that's depressing to some degree, because it's like looking at the winners. I'm outside the window, it's raining, it's thundering, it's fucking cold as shit, and I see somebody inside with a warm blanket, money, and healthcare. and I'm a little fucking jealous because it's cold and shitty outside and I'm stuck here for a bit. So, you know, I like the sound of rain. I don't like standing in the rain. But I do hope that you guys have learned something about how terrible the US is. This kind of all was a culmination too of my frustrations, but like it's not the only thing that's negative. Again, it's this upcoming week we have the 4th of July on the Tuesday, and the toxic sort of patriotism that's shown on the 4th of July kind of grosses me out and freaks me out, which is one of the reasons that I don't really like the 4th of July. Especially considering when I look at the US, I see these problems. But then these other people look at the US and they're like, yeah, guns and explosions! And I feel like we have a very different opinion and viewpoint on, like, the good and the bad. Especially considering, like, I feel like there's a portion of the US that's essentially trying to get slaves to be a thing again, which I am not here for. Like, I don't know, we're fighting for, like, equality and treating people well, and then there's these other people fighting against it, but they're also the same people who are like, guns and explosions, yeah, America. But, like, do they really even understand, like, what they're saying and what they're doing and what America's built on versus, like, what they're, like, touting? Yeah, eagle, bear, freedom, guns, bears, beer, beer, bears, bears with beers! Ah! Yeah, I mean, it's just shit. But anyways, I'm gonna go eat some ice cream or something. I'll talk to you guys later. I love you guys. Bye!